Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Popcorn Wind Down. I'm Eddie.
And I'm Tammy.
Thank you for joining us as we will be discussing Tom Clancy's Without Remorse, starring Michael B. Jordan, which tells the story of an elite Navy SEAL who accidentally stumbles across an international conspiracy while seeking revenge for the murder of his team, his wife, and their unborn child. Without Remorse is based on Clancy's John Clark series, which includes Operation Rainbow and Rainbow Six. Tammy, what did you think of Without Remorse?
It was nice. It was nice. Like I wasn't. It kind of felt a little bit like a TV movie to me. A little bit. Like thank goodness it didn't go into theaters because it was definitely not a blockbuster. But it did its job. Definitely did its job. What about you?
I I enjoyed it. I'm gonna piggyback real quick though before I forget. I'm piggyback into. So you don't think it would have been a block? You think it would have been less successful if it had gone to the theaters than it was for Amazon? Because it was a huge hit for Amazon, which I get the
Yes.
difference.
Yes, I would say that I do believe it would have been less successful if it had just premiered in theaters rather than on Amazon Prime.
Okay. So do you think it would have been a complete bomb or just not as
No, not a
successful?
bomb. It just would not have been a blockbuster. Not to say it wouldn't have been, did significantly well, but it wouldn't have been a blockbuster.
Okay, I get that. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I know Tom Clancy. I haven't read a lot of his books. I'm not a big fan of his writing, I guess. But I I am a fan of the Jack Ryan series on Amazon. They finally got it right after trying to figure out how to bring that series to the big screen forever. They tried doing different versions of that series with different books and different actors, and it never quite stuck. But and we talked about the Jack Ryan series, so go back and catch that podcast. But yeah, I was really interested. I thought Michael Jordan B. Jordan was an interesting choice to play the lead. John Clark, who becomes John Kelly. What did you think about that? The casting.
Um, I like the casting. It was nice to see some of the actors, like the less known actors that nobody, I guess, will ever mention when they talk about this movie, like Luke Mitchell, who I loved from the Tomorrow People, a CW show that ended I would say, too early.
I
And
agree.
then Cam, oh my God, what is his last name? Gigandad?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've loved him. Hated his character on the OC, but I loved him as an actor on the OC. He played in um what is that stupid
Twilight.
series? Touche. He played in Twilight, but also he had his own TV show that I also feel ended too early. I can't think of the name right now, where he played a Southern lawyer. But I've liked him. I've kind of hoped that he would gain more success than he has, more acting jobs than he has gained. So it was nice to see them because I recognized. I was like, wait a minute, is that Luke Mitchell? Like I actually knew his name. I was just like, that looks like him, and then I had to go and research it and confirm, my thoughts. But yeah, like Michael B. Jordan, he did a good job. Like he's kick ass, like he has the body for it. He can act, the action was great. Jodie Turner Smith did a really, really good job. Loved her hair in the movie. Um, that's it. Like, I mean, Guy Pearce was, just there. Oh wait, who was the white dude?
Jamie Bell.
Jamie Bell was I. He doesn't play evil villain as well as another actor may have been able to do it. I didn't truly believe, like he made me laugh. Him trying to
President.
play like he was bad, like he was a badass CIA agent and a spy, and I was just like, okay.
Okay. Well, also mentioning actors that this was Lauren London's first return to acting, I believe, since Nipsey Hussle died. So it was good to see her getting roles. I don't know whether you're a Lauren London fan, and I'm not going to say I'm the biggest Lauren London fan. It's just nice to see her starting to, um, move on in her grieving process. I will say for that. So also, yeah, well, Luke Mitchell and Cam G. I'm just gonna call him G. I don't want to massacre his name. They had smaller roles, but spoiler alert, they die like within the first 5 minutes of the movie. So, but yeah, and I agree with you about their shows being canceled way too soon. I thought that Jamie Bell's character, I'm gonna agree with you to a certain extent. He was a little stiff and a little rigid. It was like, and he's a better actor than what he portrayed in this movie, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Because, yeah. So I think that it was a little formulaic, and I'm going to agree with you when you said it seemed more like a TV movie. You know what I'm about to say, I guess. Maybe you can think. It seemed like a
There was
pilot
like a
to me.
pilot.
Yeah.
He says
And
this every time, y'all.
I do, because I'm like, the intro, and that means I'm willing to give it a chance. And I will say, I will allude back to why I said it was a pilot as we get further into the discussion. But yeah, so Guy Pearce, again, this probably was not his best acting role or his best part. It seemed like he kind of phoned it in a little bit as well. Um, but I will say it was a good fake out, because initially I started off thinking that Jamie Bell was the big bad or the mole or whatever you want to call him. So they did good with that part. But yeah, I liked Michael B. Jordan in the role. I liked that it was a big deal when it came out that he was going to be playing this role, because uh, it is connected to the Jack Ryan universe. I think he and Jack Ryan are actually supposed to be really good friends, John Clark and Jack Ryan. How they make that and John Clark has actually been in some of the other Jack Ryan books and Jack Ryan movies, and his role was played by, gosh, I can't think of his name right now. He plays Ray Donovan too. I'm having like the biggest brain fart, and it'll probably come to me at the most random time. But Liv Schreiber, yeah, he's played the role of John Clark in some of the Jack Ryan movies. So, but what I was gonna say is it was a big deal that a black guy was playing this character, and I like seeing just the diversity of roles, knowing that people of color are spies, and we can be badass Navy SEALs, and we can carry movies like this. So that I thought it was a good choice. And also the connection between this and the Jack Ryan series, also on Amazon, is that Jodie Turner Smith plays Greer's niece, who's played by Wendell Pierce in the series. So I don't know if there will be more crossover than that, but I liked that connection. What did you think of the action?
Uh, I mean, it served its purpose. Can I just say, like, the whole movie served its purpose?
You
Like there was
could,
okay.
but
I will say that I was not impressed throughout the movie, but not to say I was not entertained throughout the movie. I just was not impressed throughout the movie. Like, it did its job. Like every scene, the action scenes, like the intense scenes that they had in the movie, like everything played its role very well. I knew why it was happening. So yeah, definitely. The one thing is I disagree with you on not knowing that Guy Pearce's character was the villain. I caught that from the beginning. And the reason why is because in the Jack Ryan series, it ends up being the politician who is kind of behind the whole thing. So when Guy Pearce was introduced, I was just like, okay, so it's going to turn out that he betrayed him, right? Like that's definitely what's gonna happen. Like I was just waiting for the moment where it would show up. Now, like the Jamie Bell character, yes, I also thought that not necessarily that he was evil, but that he had ulterior motives on what he was doing. Like they had one mission and he had a whole different mission, and his goal was to carry out his mission because that was what his job was. So I thought he was going to be very cutthroat on, like, yeah, I'm gonna help y'all out up until it messes up my actual mission that I have. So that was a little surprising on seeing that he did not turn out to be that type of character. But the Guy Pearce character, like, I saw that coming. Like, politician, you know he dirty. You know he dirty. Come on now. What politician you know in movies nowadays that's actually above board? Like, none. Okay, so but yeah, the action was pretty good. Like, the fight scenes were good. The fight scenes definitely were good. Um I'm all about the killing. You know my favorite scene is
The
when
one
he
in the
burns the
car.
car. Yes. Okay. When he burns, and the reason why is because, like, that I felt was an actual full on reaction to how they murdered his wife, and to show his skill set on, like, how cutthroat he can be, because he burned the car, then he got into the car, then he tortured the man to find out what he needed, and then before he got out of the car himself, he shot him. I said, good job. Good job. Because that's how it's supposed to go down. It's not that, oh, I'm going to leave him there so they can save him from the fire. Hell no. You're going to die, bitch. Die. So, yeah. But, yeah. I'm sure you have more, I guess, positive views, more positive views on this.
I would just let our listeners know that she's not a psychopath. To know her is to love her.
Okay, wait. Oh my God, was it? It couldn't have been. It couldn't have been last. It couldn't have been the last episode where I was telling them, I was like, y'all, I'm not crazy, but I am the person in the theater who laughs when people get shot in the head. Like, John Wick was a hilarious movie to me because he did his job. He was shooting everybody in the head, left and right. Yes, I am that person that enjoys the action scenes that ends up with people actually dying, because I don't understand this whole shoot them in the leg thing in action movies. Like, what are we doing with the shooting in the leg thing? Like,
So
nah, you shoot them in the head and keep it moving.
she's not a psychopath. She's not known to be violent, but
Like, I've
yeah.
never been in the military. I'm not like.
So it's okay. I, oh, my favorite scene was the one in the jail. Like, I thought that when they were coming for him in the jail, and homeboy hand after he finished off all the people that they let into his cell, and homeboy was like, yeah, I got a phone for you, I'm just gonna slide it through here, like he was afraid he's gonna take that towel and break his hand through, which he probably could have. But I like that, and I agree with you. I like the scenes that actually showed his skill set, and I guess that's part of the reason why it seemed like a pilot, is because I guess it was building on uh it was building up to something, and just it was kind of showing his backstory, how he starts off as John Kelly and then he becomes John Clark. um so I'm going to agree with you on that. And I did like the scenes where it was more action. To me, the drama, quote unquote, the drama did not carry the movie. So there were some holes in it that I hope that if it does get a sequel, that they're able to fill a little bit better. And I think that they could work on the dramatic parts a little bit, and maybe, like I said, I don't know. Now, I wasn't surprised that Guy Pearce, when it was revealed that his character, Secretary Clay, was the ultimate big bad. I was not surprised about that. I don't necessarily know that like I said, I didn't really see it coming, I guess, because I was so focused on it. And you're right, it's either the politician or the CIA guy. And I was focused on it being the CIA guy, which was Jamie Bell's character. So at one point I thought, oh, okay, are they in collusion together? Are they colluding together? But then, I guess not. Uh, I I don't know. Like, if you, I don't know where to go from there. You said it was a very serviceable movie.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, look, I watched it. Would I have watched it if it hadn't been on the list? I'll be honest, even as a Michael B. Jordan fan, I don't know if it would have been at the top of my list. Like maybe I'd have got to it in the summer when I had more time to catch up on all like the movies and the TV shows that I missed. But would I have been like so excited that I'm watching it when it premiered or whatever? Absolutely not. That just I like nah. I just wasn't. And then another thing is that I feel that if you compare it to Jack Ryan, it definitely was lacking. Um, I think I love Jack Ryan. I think it's a phenomenal TV show. And yes, it is true. They finally figured out the formula. Not all book series and comic book series needs to be a movie. Like I understand it makes more money and it brings in that easy cash, but not everything should be a movie. Sometimes you need to just make it a TV show and really focus on like character development. And I think Jack Ryan does a good job of that now that they've realized that the TV formula actually works for it. Um, I'm guessing they're not going to be able to do a TV formula for this just because it's Michael B. Jordan. So, you know, he's a superstar. Um, Not to say that the other dude isn't, but he's just a
John
little,
Krasinski.
yeah, but I think Michael B. Jordan may be just a little bit more busy. But um, but yeah, like it was a good movie. And listeners, do not think that I'm saying it's a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. I was not bored at all throughout the movie. I was able to watch it in one setting. I didn't feel like I needed to pause. But at the same time, like it is what it is. Like it is what it is. Like the acting was good enough. The action scenes good enough. Um, yeah, like it's yeah. They're like, dang, like
I
this is
know,
how we
like
do. This
you.
is how we doing. Michael be doing it right now. My bad, Mike.
I know you don't be having them coming for us. Um, okay, so I had, and you brought up some interesting points. So I'm just going to piggyback off of that. First of all, our Jack Ryan episode was episode 6. So go back and listen to it and see how much we've grown since
Season
then.
1, episode 6.
Episode 6, yes, season 1, episode 6. And I will agree with you. Like I said, I love the series. I think they've done a great job with the series and exploring it. I'm going to say something a little bit maybe unpopular. I'm going to co-sign with you just a little bit. Okay. I think, well, let me do it this way. I'm going to ask you. So, do you think this would have been better served as a series if it had truly been a pilot for a series?
Yeah, a limited series. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Michael B.
Yeah.
Jordan, if you're listening, you could do a limited series and still be, one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. But I probably think it would have served better as a limited series. I think it would have probably plugged up some of the holes. We would have probably had a little bit more screen time with Luke, Mitchell, and Cam G. But um, you know, I I it was a serviceable movie, and I'm gonna have to say that probably if it had gone to theaters, it might not have done as well than it did with premiering for Amazon because it was a huge hit for Amazon and it's a huge hit for Michael B. Jordan, and I'm proud. I'm happy for that. He produced it under his Outlier Society banner, so he was one of the producers on it. So I'm glad to see it getting the success and all that. And it wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't great. It could have been better. And I guess that's where my whole thing of it seemed more like a TV movie slash pilot mindset comes in. It's just, it seemed I don't know, it seemed his performance was good, and his performance was probably one of the standouts along with Jodie Turner's performance. And she was pregnant when she filmed this. I didn't realize she was pregnant when she filmed this, but I
Oh,
guess
I didn't. I wouldn't have known that if you hadn't just said it.
and in rewatching it, I saw one scene where you could tell a little bit, but that was only after I rewatched it and knew that she was pregnant. So that kind of made up for a lot of the baggy clothes and a lot of the upper body shots that they were just showing of her. So just a little side note, a little tidbit. Um, but yeah. So do you think there should be a crossover with this? And like, would you like to see John Kelly or Pam Grier show up. Is that really her name, or did I just give her the name from the '70s, Foxy Brown? You
No,
know,
it's
I'm.
Pam Grier.
Oh, I was about to say, oh, it's Karen Grier. Pam Grier is the actress from the '70s.
Oh, you sure right.
You know, I'm horrible with names.
Oh no,
So,
Pam was his wife. I was like, somebody was named Pam.
oh
Pam
yeah,
was his
Pam was his
wife.
wife. Okay,
Pam was his wife's name. I was like, there was a Pam in the movie.
all right. So should Karen slash Foxy Brown Greer? Do you think that there should be a crossover between this and the Jack Ryan series? Like,
I mean, if they have another one, I can see there being a crossover with Jack Ryan and John Clark. Now is what his name is. I can definitely see a crossover. I wouldn't want it to be where all of a sudden like Jack Ryan comes in and he's more the focus or at all, but to kind of like come in for like a couple scenes and then bounce out, come in to help John Clark, and then leave. I can definitely see that, and as well as her uncle, her uncle coming in and like kind of helping out and everything like that. I can definitely see that coming about. But yeah, and because I can see another movie happening, especially with the success of the first one. I can definitely see another movie happening. I would prefer it to be a limited series, but if it cannot be a limited series, then I can see another movie happening and kind of making this like a whole Amazon Prime TV movie kind of concept rather than trying to put it into theater. I would hope that they wouldn't feel that once the theater is fully open back up, that they'd want to transition this whole thing to the movie theater, because as we noticed with Jack Ryan, it did not work out so well. And I love Michael B. Jordan, but based on the Prime movie, yeah, I suggest that you stick it on Prime.
I'm gonna agree. Wow, is the
You're
world
agreeing
gonna?
with me a lot today, Eddie.
I know. Is it the headache? Is it the world gonna open up? Like, what's going on? Or look, okay, you know what? Here we go. I'm gonna get back to myself. Even a broke clock is right twice a day.
Oh, that's messed up.
Is that better?
I guess. I guess.
I agree. As far as crossovers go, I would even like to see maybe one or two of them show up, like either John Clark or Karen Greer show up um in the Jack Ryan universe. So I would love to see some type of crossover in another way. Um, and I think probably just like Netflix has had success with its movies that are just for Netflix, they're starting to branch out and do movies that are going to be in theaters a little bit too. I think that you're right. This should probably remain an Amazon exclusive, like exclusively on Prime. And I don't think it would have done as well in a movie theater. Maybe it could be like their version of Mission Impossible or something. Um, I do think there is a lot of room for improvement with the series, though, as far as maybe the writing,
Mm-hmm.
and even hopefully if there is a second one, which the mid credit scene alluded to. I think that was an allusion to Operation Rainbow, which is the second book in the series. So I think we'll get to see, hopefully, with that, it's not as much backstory, and you will get to see more action, more of the thrilling spy drama. Get to see him use more of his skill set. Because to me, the action scenes that we got were good, but it was limited. I was looking forward to it being a little bit more action. And
Mm-hmm.
I think this if and I was going to say if Jodie Turner Smith was pregnant, it was filmed maybe pre-COVID or so it was early in her pregnancy, so I don't know if maybe the timing of it, but I would definitely want to see more action in another movie with that, so we'll see. Uh, and maybe a not so obvious bad guy, I guess. Although I was kind of faked out a little bit with the bad guy, but can we go beyond the CIA? And I guess as a political thriller, it's going to be a spy of some sort. But
Well,
Um,
of course. And the CIA is the most likely candidate, and politicians are the most likely candidates. So I don't have a problem with that. I just think that give them more of a run for their money when it comes to the villains.
yeah.
It like I felt like the villain wasn't fully flushed out in this movie. So hopefully in the next one it would be more of a flushed out character that would be presented.
And his motive, because the Cold War and I get it. The actual book was written in 1993. I'm going back and doing some research. The character was it was actually set, even though the book was written in 1993. The character and the drama was set basically in the 70s, heading towards the end of the Vietnam War. So I get it, but if you're going to update as much as you did, and his wife still dies and all that kind of stuff, and I get you can't tell the same story from 50 years ago or 30 years ago, but can you at least do something other than the Cold War ending? Because the Cold War ended, what, 30 years ago, almost over 30 years ago.
Okay, so I will say, because that brings up something else. I will say that his reasoning for wanting to make Russia an enemy again actually made sense. Do I agree with it? No, but it makes sense. Like there were actual, like I was just like, yo, okay, I see where he's coming from. Yeah, I mean, don't actually create a war, but I could definitely see where he's coming from on the fact the only times America really comes together rather than fighting each other is when we have a common enemy. And creating a common enemy, I mean, right now it's either the Middle East, North Korea, or Russia. Those are the three.
Well, it's not going
Uh,
to be Russia with Kremlin cruising them.
well, yeah, I mean, all depends. All depends. But more likely it would be like North Korea or well, no, the Middle East, because the Middle East seems to be it's a ride or die, villain to create. Um, but yeah, but he definitely made sense on when he was talking about the reasoning behind wanting to start World War III, with the U.S. against Russia. I understood that even like without the Cold War thing, because yes, the Cold War was a long time ago, but Russia is still on that level of the reason why we went into the Cold War, and so we may ignore it, but they're still doing their mess behind the scenes. So I can't understand his reasoning. I may not agree with it, but I do understand his reasoning on trying to bring the country together rather than being as divided as we currently are, because that is a legitimate thing that's going on right now.
Yeah, but even if you came up with proof and taking a real world context and what he said, you would still have people who wouldn't believe it because certain people wouldn't let them believe it. But I mean, I don't know. I just I get it. I mean, I got it. I understood it. But in these whole, I want to start World War III. Do you realize that that is a zero sum game? Like World War III, there is no coming back from that. There is no recovering from that. You know, um, I especially with everyone having nuclear weapons and all that. So it's just that I was just like, for you to be such a smart man, your ultimate end game is kind of stupid. So that's I guess that's what I meant by I didn't really like the motive. I understood it, but it was just like, oh, okay. But yeah. So, do you think that there should possibly be a sequel?
Yeah, definitely.
Are you excited for a sequel?
No,
Are we going to cover a sequel?
no,
Yes.
no. You can write a review on it.
We
Mm-mm.
should do a follow-up story to Without Remorse. Was the sequel, was Operation Rainbow better now that we have a fully fleshed out character and we've already covered the backstory? We've already survived the pilot. Was episode 2 better than episode 1?
Yeah, that's why you can do a pop review on it.
You know what?
And let the audience know if you feel that it was better the second time around.
That's why I want to put you up for adoption sometimes.
All the time, all the time.
Okay, so how many stars would you get? Or stars? Look at me. I'm delirious. I'm delusional
Ooh.
today. How many popcorns would you give without remorse?
I'm gonna give it a solid 2.75.
Dang, it didn't even make it to the three.
Nah, it didn't make it to the three. Like I was just like, you know what? We bought like a bucket, right? And I got like like the little kitty like cardboard box that they give you when you be like, oh, can I get like one of those cardboard boxes? We about to share this, and they give it to you, and then you pour some of it out. You poured out like 2.75 of the popcorn into my little container, and then you kept the rest for yourself.
Damn, that's rough.
I just like look. It it was good but mediocre. Is that it was good but mediocre. Like it served its purpose. Once again, it served its purpose, and its purpose got it to a 2.75.
Damn. Well, I would almost agree with you, but we got an ab shot, so I'm gonna bump it up to a three. You know.
Ooh, ooh. Oh yeah, we did get a top body shot.
Yeah, so we got an ab shot. So I'm bumping it up for three just for Michael B. Jordan's abs. You know, he is, after all, the reigning sexiest man alive. Like, that's gotta account for something. But yeah, gosh, this has been a weird one. I've agreed with you a lot today.
I know, right? Yay!
Damn, my head must be
And
hurting more
usually
than I.
when I'm like so cynical and like I give a lot of criticism, it's usually like you trying to find like the amazing like good parts to it to like make it sound better. And this time you just like, no, I have to agree with you on that. No, I have to agree with you on that. I feel like I got that like 4 times. So I feel like I'm doing good right now, y'all.
It's it, dude. It's the migraine, like for real.
Don't blame it
I'm
on the
go.
migraine. Don't blame
I'm
it on
go.
the migraine.
I'm gonna go
Come on.
back. I'm gonna go back and listen to this and have to post a disclaimer like, look, I had a headache. I was not my normal self. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, I would have to say, in all honesty, I wanted to love the movie more than I did, and I kind of and when I feel that way about something, I kind of try to temper my expectations. And like you say, a huge Michael B. Jordan fan, want to see him do well. I'm glad it was a success for Amazon. I'm glad it was a success as one of his first production or producing projects for Amazon. Um, but it wasn't great. It was serviceable, and I really hope that I do hope that we do get Rainbow Six or Operation Rainbow. So I hope that they will continue the series, and probably based on the success, they will. But if they are thinking about releasing it in theaters, they're going to have to up their game. Um, especially with Bond and Mission Impossibles and something like that, they're going to have to up the game, the action game, and all that kind of plug in some of those holes with the story. And I guess that's why I say it felt like a pilot. And then with the mid-credit scene alluding to Operation Rainbow, it felt like a pilot or an introduction, which it was a serviceable introduction. It makes me interested to see where the story will go from there. But yeah, 2.75, but I'm giving it that extra 0.25 because we got an app shot. So
You
um,
so nice.
what? Hey, it's Michael B. Jordan, his abs, and he's people's reigning sexiest man alive. Duh, like that's got to earn him something.
Yeah, earned him a 2.75.
That I swear is why I want to put you up for adoption. Does anybody want a Tammy? Contact me at the popcorn wind down at gmail.com and we can negotiate.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
Um,
Negotiate terms.
we can negotiate terms, if you want to take in Tammy, if you want to, because she, I can't leave her an orphan. I have to make sure she finds a good home. I'm at least going to do that.
Too funny.
So that does it for this episode of the Popcorn Wind Down. Thank you for joining us as always, and be sure to join us next week when we talk about Selena. Bitty bitty bum bum.
Bum bum.
And in the meantime, catch up with us daily at the popcornwinddown.com for your latest in entertainment and pop culture news. And also check out the podcast. Any episodes that you might have missed, you can catch up on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, share, comment. Yeah. And until next time, I'm Eddie.
And I'm Tammy. Bye.
Bye.